language is broken into a slang, but it's just a dialect that I select when I hang.
I don't gang bang or shoot out bang bang.
Red, black, and green camel, spit like magazine ammo. Spiritually in tune to the Elohim channel. Black ramble, my 4/5 chip off enamel. Babylon is in shambles, so I'm strapped like Nike Vandals. Supreme high, the vibes of frequency. My pineal gland still deciphering mysteries from last century. Street ministry, a different breed. Real spittery game, freeze you like Norwegian seas. We speaking 6 degrees of Celsius of separation. Sick of these selfie rappers, filters in their fabrication. Masquerading for some validation. Let a real nigga say so many hating, nah, life behind bars. You've been sentenced to sentences. Is you a victim or victor in this cycle of viciousness? Bear witness without censorship. Prolific with this penmanship. My language is broken into a slang, but it's just a dialect that I select when I hang.
I don't gang bang or shoot out bang bang.
My language is broken into a slang, but it's just a dialect that I select when I hang.
I don't gang bang or shoot out bang bang.
Fellas, who gon' fill up the shelves when scholars killing careers to the point they can't sell? These quiz still in the rear, circle jerking out of fear till they black out. Them feminine tendencies make them act out of character. Stay in your chair, cause I'll embarrass you. Dunce ass rappers, punk slash faxters. You can say hipster, I'm done sealing my lips, bruh. Call them how I see them now, battle coliseum style. Medieval times, pull up, your skinny jeans, pull out your regal rhymes and let's get into things. Verbal jousting for fans and fam alike. Herbal out with the clouds in the air, the endless heights. Your aim was nice, but the end is near tonight. Come in prepared to fight, cause limbs we tear on sight. And it's about to be an all-out war. Lyrically put a hole in one, then I call out 4.
My language is broken into a slang, but it's just a dialect that I select when I hang.
I don't gang bang or shoot out bang bang.
My language is broken into a slang, but it's just a dialect that I select when I hang.
I don't gang bang or shoot out bang bang.
Hey yo, live wire, spark fire, currently electric, currency collected, the words can see the message. Certainly the chef is whipping up some marvelous in Hell's Kitchen. Compelled spitting, it's the novelist. In each chapter taking out weak rappers, I spoke them like a leaf wrapped up. So feminine might get their weed snatched up. For currency, I got them G's stacked up, the green masters. Tuition is the fee, ask us. Yo, I invoke incantation to get y'all niggas off the plantation. My pen and pad is sacred as the ancients. Hieroglyphs, flying shit, taking higher risk on my descent. The real G's move in silence, but still burn loud. Move the crowd at the ceremony, and known to put one in the air if I got one on me. The business of the game's backwards, homie. That's like a 360 deal contract with Sony and no fee.
My language is broken into a slang, but it's just a dialect that I select when I hang.
I don't gang bang or shoot out bang bang.
My language is broken into a slang, but it's just a dialect that I select when I hang.
I don't gang bang or shoot out bang bang.
You are now the dopest, the one and only www.diggingdelly.com. This is The Way Radio, broadcasting live from Northeast Los Angeles. And as always, we got special guests live in studio, and today is no exception. I'm gonna let the homies introduce themselves. But who we got in studio?
Yo, what's up, what's up? Yo, you already know what's up, man. This is Def Mass representing Block Scholars, you know what I'm saying? Got my mans with me.
What up, Mr. Tibbs here, Block Scholars in the building, digging daily, you know what it is.
No doubt, it's TBZ on one already in the building with you. Block Scholars, diggingdaily.com, what's the deal?
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Whoever wants to introduce that first track we just heard, what's the name of the first track we just played right now?
Oh yeah, that was that joint Slangwich, man, just really just breaking down who we are, you know what I'm saying? It says a lot about the culture, you know, when you hip, you gotta speak a certain slanguage, and it's combined with foundational hip-hop elements, you know what I'm saying? And
Nice.
We Block Scholars, you know what I'm saying?
So let's get into that. Block Scholars, talk about real quick, how did you guys form? How did it come about? Give us all that information.
Man, Block Scholars is like a movement between the minds and making things happen and materialize. You know, a long time ago, we discovered, you know, a bond where we make music and build on other things that are not just music based. So that's why I think Block Scholars comes through as such a solid squad, because it's this natural chemistry, years of, you know, conditioning of rocking stages together and events, and you know, these are my best friends, you know what I mean? So that means when we come to build something, it's very organic. There's no like hardships with creating it. It's very free flowing. I think it comes off very, very clean, and it's just, I'm very happy to do music with these brothers.
Nice. Everyone feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely. I've been in a few different groups, and I enjoy my time with every group I worked with, but there's something about when the three of us get together and make music, it's kind of just a little more easy. I don't know, maybe it's the friendship we have outside of the music that makes it that way, because we've known each other for quite some time.
Right, this kinfolk, like we love ones. We like family, you know what I'm saying? Our children call me uncle. You know, we uncles to our kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, but even so, we are a part of a major subculture in which we created a space for the culture of hip hop, where we were in the nucleus of it occurring in West Coast hip hop, and a lot of people don't know the story of how we fabricated this as scholars, as leaders of the culture. You know what I'm saying? We cultivate hip hop culture, so it's like we move as pillars in everything that we do for the culture. You know what I'm saying?
And then how the name Block Scholars, talk about that. How'd you guys come up with the name?
So it's just a combination of a few things. You know, like for me, I define a block scholar as somebody who may have grew up on the block, but learned knowledge of themselves and knew how to operate and navigate exercising the fifth element of hip hop, which is knowledge. You know what I'm saying? First thing come with that is your knowledge of who you are and your identity. So I'm off the block. I can easily exercise the foundational principles being a hood nigga, but I could also maneuver like the G that ended up buying a car wash and had moves as a businessman, and even going back further to where a lot of revolutionaries in the community gang bang to protect from the police.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a matter of them gang banging, but those principles carry over into hip hop, and the influence of being West Coast hip hoppers and having affiliation of, like, for me and my family, like, I'm off the block, but I'm here to build. So it's also the building block. You know what I'm saying? Tibbs, you want to speak on the building block concept? Like,
well, yeah, it's kind of like when you start speaking on the building blocks, that kind of opens it up to where everybody can relate a little bit more to the block scholar concept. It's like every human being, as you going throughout your journey in life, you come across boundaries and blocks, right?
Yeah.
So what makes you is how you respond to that adversity in those blocks. If you let that just block you, then you just go fall by the wayside and life goes on and shit go keep moving and people forget about you. But if you take that block and turn it to a lesson and proceed off that and build from it, that's scholarly shit. So that makes you a block scholar as well. So that I vision it as that in the same sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can just say, like, you know, for me, I agree with all these angles too, because that's what it's the embodiment of all of our input into what this is. And like for me personally, I feel like we all got a block to stand on. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it be a physical block, a location on a geographical map, or just you as you on your own 10 toes. You know, you should be on your block and representing the correct block. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're identifying with yourself and tapping in with yourself, and you can stand on your own block and represent your own block properly without being somebody else or doing some other shit, just being genuine, maximizing your purposes and doing that, that's your block. You should be true to that block, because that's what's gonna make you go into the higher form of yourself and envisioning yourself in a higher form. And that's what I think what we're all trying to achieve with our music, sharing the message of reaching higher forms, you know what I'm saying? Vibrating at higher frequencies, loving people more, giving back to communities, educating the youth, providing leadership opportunities and opportunities for kids to express themselves when those forms of education are being depleted in the districts and the school systems and things like that. So we're trying to implement other angles of how we're going to tap in and give back to the community that, you know, we can better and improve and give back because they helped raise us. You know what I mean?
For real.
That's some real shit right there. When did you guys decide to like form the super group Block Scholars and be like, we got to do this musically?
Block Scholars was already Block
Yeah,
Scholars.
yeah.
I want to say like 2009
Yeah.
was the first inception
Yeah.
of us as maybe a group, because we already rocked in a group. I played keys for their band, you know, once upon a time, and then, you know, slowly began producing, and then we eventually years later dropped the real Block Scholars album. But he's got individual stuff.
Yeah.
He's got individual stuff, and so do I throughout the midst of all of that. And then the COVID summer,
Yeah, around so, yep.
And
yep.
I started making, I was like,
You hopped on that production.
I was on a production, and you know, everybody was kind of hibernating almost, and it's like you're in the crib, you just like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So we might as well just bang out a gang of beats and write and work with the homies. With y'all bored? Y'all like, hey, this is bored too. Let's make a project.
Yeah, right. And,
Nah,
and Def was just sending us tracks with dates on them. Like, he was just sending beats. So we had to remember what beat hit us based on the date. And I remember just trying to download shit to my phone
They're like, let me
immediately.
get that 0503.
Because they was coming through, and I was like, whoa.
20.
So we would put titles on our own files for the beat, and he'll have an idea for it, or he'll have a concept, or and like a couple of them, Def as an MC and a dope ass producer, he would have some titles or some ideas for it, or whatever come to mind when he produced it, or maybe what he thought, rhyming a pattern over it or whatever. But and even some shit Def send us with like hooks on it.
Yeah.
That Hope for Sale joint, when he sent that, I was like, wow. But he's a monster producer. And I think going back to us in the origin of our group, like Mr. Tibbs and I, on one, we formed a group called SoCal that was out of a hip hop band called Art, A-R-T, Art Tribe. And
Nice.
we were like an organic hip hop band. We did shows with a lot of people. We did shit, but we were like locals. We were like hip hop locals.
It's a big ass band.
We was a big band.
Drums, keys,
diversity,
bass, guitar, drums, DJ.
collective, man.
Damn.
We were
and
collective.
fucking-
All you needed was
We
a
had
horn.
4 MCs
Yeah,
at
we just
once.
needed
We had
horns.
2
And it was like
MCs.
2 MCs every time.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was like a big squad. We was rolling up.
Yeah, that
deep.
shit was crazy.
But we start really working with Def more on the lyrical stuff when we moved towards the SoCal, and he produced something for our SoCal album.
I had to step my shit up because at that time, I personally felt I had to step my shit up to get on records with these brothers because,
word.
you know, I just looked like playing keys for them in the band. I always felt like these niggas is blazing it. To see the way the crowd goes dumb, I just wanted to step my shit up, you know.
But he
Nice.
had bars though. Don't get him twisted. Like, he had bars, but he was actually like somebody who knew how to compose the shit we made, because we were a raw hip hop band. So we played what we felt. Whether the DJ scratched something in, he hit the bass, wax on the drums, like whatever, however it went down, it was just like, yo, we're just creating organically, and that's what it was. It was just like, it was almost ahead of his time to a certain extent, because we were just expressing as a collective, and we were very diverse. We had every ethnicity damn near in our group,
Yeah,
one time
like-
and another, but we
yeah,
were
for real.
representing hip hop culture, and we were building. You know, this is post, like after the world was supposed to end.
Post 9/11.
was like,
Yeah. So we were
Post
building, and
9/11.
that created something that ended up. But Def, man, like, he's always been kind of like, just like a brother in rhyme, or one who kept shit alive for us when it came to music, with his whether it's production, whether him doing shows or dropping projects and having us hop on shit. Like, you know, he kept the energy alive for us as a squad. So even when you see Def doing shit live, you see one of the Block Scholars, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you see, like, you know, someone who was already ahead of it with Manifest recording and a bunch of shit that he done in places he been. Like, you know, he a pillar in this shit. So it wasn't like he's a little bro. We always saw his shine. It was like, this nigga's dope. We got to do more shit with him, you know?
Yeah, I appreciate that shit too.
To round back to the question, to answering that question in a nutshell, though, Block Scholar's been around since SoCal, basically.
Yeah.
Because that was actually the name of the EP we put out as SoCal.
Yeah.
It was called Block Scholars. So
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Word.
so
And I got to jump on a joint.
yeah, you were
Yeah,
on
we
a
get
song
the
on
Family
that
Ties
album.
joint.
Ties. And
That's the
that
first
was a
album.
crazy
with-
beat.
Yeah, that's the
T-Nasty
first
with the-
song we did
So
together. Right?
those records are the inception of us on the same joints and stuff. And yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. And around what year more or less was that? More or less.
Like 08, 09, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
so 8
9. Yeah, probably
Nice.
like 9.
And then when did you guys release your first album? What year was that?
What, with the band? Or
No, just with
as Block Scholars?
yeah.
Oh, this is the first one as a
Yeah,
collection.
First one. Last year, yeah.
So what was the
our
one
first
you
one.
guys said that you guys released before?
No, that was a SoCal album.
that
That
was
was
SoCal.
that was our
Just us
duo.
two. It was
Ironically,
duo.
the album title of SoCal's album
Was Block Scholars.
Okay. All right, I got
But
it.
Block Scholars became like a
Our
crew
group,
out of the
yeah.
inception of us doing collaboration.
So,
or
what,
work
Yeah.
anyway.
so what took you guys so long to make an album?
That's a
my
great
next
question.
question.
That's a great
Bro,
question.
I think we build on so many other ways that,
Yeah.
like, we were still, I mean, I still have shows. They'll come out, or they
Yeah,
have shows.
music
I
was
come
being
out.
made.
We were making joints, but it wasn't like, let's make an album and make
I was
this up.
working with another group at a point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He had other things going on too. Like,
I had other things going on. Life. That's
Yeah, and
that's what took so long. Basically, is
Like,
life. Different life situations.
I always think about that too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like as far as the music, like the part of the culture that I felt personally that I represent was great when it came to the lyricism in the bars and creating music and different things. But I kind of fell into the purpose work of hip hop and really cultivating and working with the youth.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that I've worked with that are doing things in the industry. So I see the fruit of my labor in different places, and they represent, like, whether it's with fashion, whether it's with like somehow in the culture they're doing something. Like I'm grateful to have had a time to really help cultivate and work with a lot of young people that are doing things. And I think musically these brothers got me back into it as a barologist as I am. Like I was focused on purpose, and I feel like my gift was paused to be more entrenched in saving the youth and working with the youth, building a nonprofit organization, developing Manifest Academy, doing the parts of hip hop
providing the
that
spaces that
has to
people
counter the
neglect.
bullshit that's
Yeah.
trying to kill our youth. You know what I'm saying? Like the
yeah.
shit that's out there that's influenced. We create a balance. For me, that's why I was really
And
focused on.
him, yeah, that's very pivotal, like foundational element of what the fuck the establishment is. Like, this man just blood, sweat, and tears into this, and it's developed in one of the most successful things that you can do in a community with the kids for expressing art. Him and his wife, just super pillars, man. And so that's why I work with One Shine Youth to develop this program, Manifest Academy, for young kids to learn how to write raps, sing, make beats, voice acting, podcasting. Like, there's a bunch of just random tools that are gonna help. I mean, not random, but they're like they're the music tools to help the kids like develop more and have an insight on what to do and what not to do. Do I sign this contract if it's 360 or not? Like, what am I supposed to do, man? How do I make money off of this? Like,
Right.
Basically trying to level up the guidance that was provided to you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or
And
to us.
Yeah, a lot of-
preserve hip hop, like preserve the culture with like the shit that we got that was community and that was building and that was good. It felt good, like I think a part of me as an MC owes it, because I always thought MCs would have to shift to some conscious shit or some building shit. You know what I'm saying? I always like, you can have your fun, you can rap crazy, you can spit your gangster shit, but I always thought like, lyricism and saying something was a place that we would have to go because of hip hop culture being like that from its
Right.
origin. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's how I was raised as a
But,
head.
but that's
like,
some real shit though.
Yeah.
That's some real shit.
That shit brought me together with people. Whether you go to a concert and you see somebody you never seen before,
Right.
that shit will bring you together.
Hell
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
man.
Like, you'll be like, yo,
Make
you wanna hit
long-lasting
this?
friends
What's up?
through
Like,
music,
you
bro.
build that. Like, and even not just that, but like, it's the unification. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, no doubt, man. We ain't went nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I got albums in between all that, and they got projects and stuff. So it's just, I think more so we build in other ways, so we weren't like overly like, well, we got to get this project done.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, I'm gonna see you.
Just let it naturally come out.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow. Nigga.
Like it had been mentioned in the past, like, oh man, we gotta do a project already, like, you know, but we never were like, yo, let's work on a project until the pandemic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Word.
And
it was important, and you know, we feel like we have the music that the people have to hear. It's for the people. It's music for real hip hop heads, for people who appreciate the culture and that want to build. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't want to build. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? We have fun though. Don't get me wrong. Like we ain't coming to be super microphone preachers or whatever, but we here to enlighten and build.
Yeah,
and we're gonna have fun with it too. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna relate to like real hip hop heads. Like the music is there. Like, and there's a lot of music to come. You know what I'm saying? Tap into what we drop, what we really pushing right now. But there's more music to come, bro.
Nah, I came to be the hip hop preacher, bro. Like, like for real. Like not just about politics and hip hop, but just purpose in hip hop community and culture.
Rev Mass.
Like it cannot be stated enough. You know, like,
for real.
It cannot be stated enough. So, but yeah, man, the music, bro. It's just right now we're just publishing some singles. We got like No Trigger, Move It. We got some different singles that are out. One Love circulating because, you know, after the project releases, you still want to have some things circulating, and we're just trying to build up momentum. We're just being organic and, you know, pushing it out there, bro. Like it's gonna be more music made. I think it's just a place for people to enjoy music and also know that when they're listening to some shit, like, it's not destructive to the spirit that they're, you know, no, it's no knocks. I'm just saying everything is vibrational. So you gotta like tune in. When you wanna fuck some shit up, you throw on some heavy shit, right?
For real.
You know what I mean? You wanna go destroy something, you throw on some death metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And fucking,
right.
You know what I mean? And go bash some shit. You know what I mean? But it's all vibrational, so. It's love.
And like we real hip hop heads. So the type of music we like because it represents a vibe and it represents an aura of foundational hip hop. Like it just like love. Like, you know what I'm saying? You do it for the love. It's just natural. It comes.
You know it when you hear it.
Yeah.
You know it when you hear it.
Speaking of that, let's get into the next track. What it is? Talk about that real quick.
Oh, so what it is like it's a solo joint from me. It's one only solo joint on the album. But it's a lot that comes with this song. Like if it wasn't for my brothers, like I probably wouldn't have really got back into MCing like I am on this track. Def slid this track. It was really inspiring in a time where I needed to release. And they came to my crib and they was like, yo, you gotta do a song, nigga. They even told like my queen, they like, yeah, we about to have him record. And I didn't know they had the intention of really having me record a full song. And they was like, what you got? Because I was holding on to some shit. I was holding on to some shit and I hadn't had a chance to really express, you know, and I feel like my gift had been refined and I had something to say. So this is just a song like letting these MCs know, like, man, it is, what it was. Like you asked, how come we ain't made no music? It ain't been nowhere. Like it's here and it's a divine timing. So we coming to really just drop some knowledge and bombs on whack MCs and people who destroying the culture too. Don't get it twisted. Like we really MCs, we really lyricists, we really represent the culture. And this song is me like really just talking my shit, being on one. And the production by Definite is immaculate. And man, it's just a live song. It's like one of them live songs where you just spit.
Trailblazer on one. Memoirs of a martyr. I hear you Definite. Is what it is. Was what it was. Was what it was. Okay. I was sent to diminish you, miniature menaces, meet your nemesis. Semi-automatic spit with that extended clip. I've been vicious with this penmanship. Charisma ending quick in the midst of legitimate lyricists. Yo, these rappers is ridiculous. Sick of belligerent ignorance from illiterate idiots. Pretty blouses and skinnies, they on that trendy shit. Gangstalicious, but a little bit more feminine. This on the strength, Tommy Smith, Olympic fist. Black scholars trigger thoughts like a mentalist. I'm serving vengeance with each of these sentences. Pray for forgiveness, cause Lord knows I'm killing it, stealing this with this willingness. Truth we're building when building his kingdom in the wilderness, where us misfits live. Sick, I'm the illest, there's no prescription that's healing this. Mortal life, blow shit up and lead no witnesses. It is what it is, was what it was. You could catch my drift, or you could catch these slugs.
I am saying that all of us must opt for revolution. All of us must opt for revolution.
It is what it is, was what it was. You could catch my drift, or you could catch these slugs.
In revolution, there is no sentimentality. There is none.
Hey yo, once again back, it's the invincible lyrical general, still spitting the spill principle. Yeah, principle, guess I suspend a few. You little dudes acting like silly imbeciles, mentally minuscule, really illiterate, no ridicules. Issues with this, get your riddles chewed. Block scholarship, kids get sent to school. Disciplinarian, my position is pivotal. Rhyming's a ritual, every syllable's critical. Say them subliminals, this what we in is spiritual. But mind make miracles. When that Holy Spirit hit you, get you high and medicinal. Lord know, the flow doper than coke, my supply. I got a Holy Ghost rider, call him Yahweh Jireh. I'm not a beast, I'm a tranquilizer. Sent by the Most High just to sanctify us, take us higher. It is what it is, was what it was. You can catch my drift, or you can catch these slugs.
Again, I'm not calling for revolution. I see it coming, and I want to be part of the solution.
It is what it is, was what it was. You can catch my drift, or you can catch these slugs.
Able to make us hate each other. He has transplanted that hate and the love for each other for a love of his country. His country. We came to this country as black men and as Africans. It took us 400 years to become Negroes. Understand that. That means that the concept of a black man is one who recognizes his cultural, his historical, and the roots of his great ancestors who were the greatest warriors on the face of this earth. African.
You are now tuned in for the freshest, the dopest, the one and only www.dndaily.com, broadcasting live from HOTBOX Studios. This is The Way Radio. We got Block Starters live in studio with us today, dropping tracks off their new album, Slanguage. Dope track.
Appreciate it.
It is what it is, and it was what it was.
Yeah, for real. Definite on the production. I don't want y'all to sleep at all on his production skills,
At all.
man. If you don't got it, his production on, like you sleeping. Like you need to tap in. You need to go to his beat page. Plug your shit, bro.
Yeah, so thankfully y'all allowed me to produce the whole joint, the whole record, you know.
This guy.
Nah, but on the real, like, that's the real shit, man, because, like, if you didn't let me do that, I would have felt like, man, I need to get my project up on with some dope MCs on there and make it, like, really pop and shit. Like, it really came out the way that I envisioned it.
Nice.
Also, thanks to Skunk for mixing, mastering and shit, too.
Salute to
You know what I
Skunk.
mean? He came through in the clutch. Shout out Lingo Bay, you know. Shout out Casanova Brown, Mishy Ill on the project, Blue on the project. Got a project called LA Matrix.
A song.
We got
Yep.
a song,
A
yeah,
song
a
on
song
the
on there,
project.
LA Matrix.
Did I say a
LA.
joint or a
You said
project?
Project.
I'm so sorry.
But
I'm messing y'all up.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
good, bro.
Maybe you're just speaking that shit into existence. You know what I'm saying?
It could be a
LA
project in the
Matrix.
mix.
This like Block
Look out for
Scholars
LA
became a group.
Matrix. LA Matrix is a
text
whole.
Blue real
It's a whole situation. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Merch line,
Let's do a project.
vision, just the LA Matrix. You know what I'm saying? We'll get into that. That's a chapter, but we're not quite getting into that yet. You know, Black Scholars here for the distance. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this, Def. When you were making the production on this, how did you know what tracks went with what, or how did you know what tracks to select for the album?
I didn't fucking know. I was I was working this job. I was in this. Long story short, I was in a used car sales location off Boulder Highway in Las Vegas with summer heat, 105, 110. I'm in a office, which is actually a converted closet. I'm in there fucking with no AC. I'm pushing papers, typing numbers. doing all kind of extra shit, making good money, but still, nigga, I'm in a box. It's on Boulder Highway. So, and so I'm in there. They close the door. There's no windows. There's no nothing. So I'm just in there banging beats out on my MPC app on my phone. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to pick the best samples and chop up whatever I could find just from this little meager setup.
Fire, bro.
Which served as the foundational pieces for the whole project. So then I had to, break them down, stem them out, put them in Pro Tools, get accompanying instruments and stuff like that to fatten it up, make it sound worth listening to. But it's a very thorough process from in a HOTBOX off Boulder Highway. And if you don't know about Boulder Highway, it's pretty rough. It's not a friendly neighborhood. You can put it like that.
It's not the strip.
You know what I mean? It's not the strip. So. But at any rate, man, I when they received the beats, they loved the joints raw cut, just like the samples and the drums. Like
he had to change some of that shit. We didn't even really want him to change it.
We was like, yo, why did he switch this shit up?
Why does this sound cleaner? You know what I'm saying?
They're dirty it back up.
Like, we like to talk to him, man.
Yeah. And that's the trip. Did you hear him say it was on his phone when he told us that? I was like, get the bro. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna send this to you to my phone. Like, boom, boom, boom. He shoot it, and I'm like, damn, I'm tripping. I'm doing dumb shit on my smartphone. I should be making, I should be at least trying to make some motherfucking I could do something shit. MP, nowadays, you could really make something
on your phone.
Some shit that'll play on the radio on your phone with just a boom, 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 boom.
Oh God.
But
oh God.
That shit's raw. A lot of production that hit now that's profitable. It's very simple, quick, microwavable.
Technology's so developed now. There's you can record lots of shit from your phone.
He was chopping on that.
Yeah, man, he was sending us fire, bro. That shit he was sending, I was like, bro. And I'm not the one bad habit of mine is I don't write all the time. You know what I'm saying? I go through waves of writing. When he sent those beats, man, I went on a binge of writing when I got those beats from him. I was coming with new shit on the constant when I got those beats.
Nice.
From him.
Yeah, for real.
And then he got on a tier and sparked a large amount of the concepts, the initial concepts.
Nice. That's what I was gonna ask.
You know what I'm saying? So he's the one that would be was the first on pen for a lot of those songs. So he would be like, I got the first verse, nigga. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I
what the song's about.
I got a hook for this.
Yeah,
Hit this. He'll be like, yo, I got this. Yeah, but he's always kind of been like that with his pen and the conceptual,
he's mastermind.
He loves to bring some things to the table, I could hear you like this, or this is the direction for us, and we all do our fair share of that.
Of course.
But I think at the end of the day, we know our roles as a group. That's what makes us a really dope hip hop trio, because we already know our lanes and how we work, and our chemistry as brothers come from every angle. So if Def throws the lob with the beat, then I'll come with some concepts of how live we make it, or what type of energy we want to bring to this joint.
Or some other instruments we may want to look into adding to it.
Yeah, shout out to my main man, rest in peace, Felix on the sax. He's actually on the song, and that was one of the things that we heard off of Libations. We wanted some live saxophone, and a really good brother that I've known and who's done a lot of different dope shit. Recently rested in peace, man, but he was able to bless us and play on the album, on the Libations track. And he came to the studio, man, and it was it was truly heavenly the way that he spoke through his horn, bro. And those are the things that we talk about, how do you add this live feeling to ignite something in people as we listen to hip hop. Musically, we want to be in a place where it connects not just with hip hop heads, but also music from the soul. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one thing I love about Def's beats. He has some chops that really just are universally soulful. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. How did you guys come up with the name of the album, Slanguage? What's the symbolism behind that?
Well, shit. We actually had a few names
Yeah.
No, because we were like, you know, how are we feeling about the project? Because we were making it so organically. We had a couple different thoughts, and you know, we always bring some shit to the table, and it's like what sticks, you know. And I think the joint language,
it was already a song.
Yeah.
And then so we were just like, this shit embodies the language of what we're saying, and it's just
and it's in line with block scholars too, because it's an offshoot of like language, which is, you know,
of being scholarly,
a science. You know what I mean?
Science,
So,
you know what I'm saying?
And we
it just
we
made
spit
sense to us.
linguistics, so it's the language we speak, but it's saturated with culture that you have to be able to be hip to hop on the movement, like you know that's a part of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? The hip side of it. How hip are you if you understand the knowledge
and
the frequency we riding
in?
Yeah. Then with the music in there too, it's like our voices also are sent to be instruments and tools to help with the process. Like, so it's really a language. It's an instrument, the sound. Dope. And it's, you know, we unite. Shit.
Dope, that's dope.
I'm just talking. Look, like,
no, we
I'm
just rocking. We rocking, bro.
Yeah,
you are on one.
I'm on one. Like, you might catch me on one or a few. Shit, it's what I do. Like, you know what I mean?
How many tracks on the album altogether?
We did.
It's 10 joints.
Yep,
solid
10 joints.
Nice.
10 toes down.
Did you guys record any more than 10?
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you guys decide which ones made the album then?
I'd say it's the chemistry between those particular songs made sense. So it came down to putting other songs on the same list, and then you know, each of us goes through a process of seeing if there's a way that these songs connect, or like, and then we make a consensual vote, like, like how you felt about this coming after that song, and you know, oh no, you think about like this song, put this other one first, and then it feels like this when you hear it all the way through. So these types of intentions are made when listening to the project in its entirety, like all things considered, you know, for the listener.
Yeah, because we're trying to catch a vibe. Like we want, I don't know. That's how I'll speak for myself. That's how I grew up, like listening to music. I listen to an album when the shit drops, the whole shit. I don't skip around. I don't go to the single first. I want to hear this shit start to finish. I want to hear your intro to the end. Yeah. You know what I mean? To the outro.
Well, a lot of times too, albums are telling you a story.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you're just listening to one track, you're missing the whole story behind it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think for the Slanguage album, I think like that's what it does. It tells a story of hip hop, because every song can put you in a genre or a vibe of some of our favorite hip hop songs and some of our artists that we love, that
when they say nostalgia,
shit, you know what I'm saying?
Where the endorphins kicked in when you first heard this joint, you know what I mean? Or like, I feel like you throw on a certain song and you like almost reliving time again momentarily. Yeah. And that's what I value music highly too. Like, I take it that serious because it's like a time capsule. Yeah. You know, you felt that way that day. Everything aligned for, at that moment in time, something to be created and recorded, you know, historically. Yeah. And then as long as it's preserved and materialized and, you know, and put out there to the universe, then it becomes consumable, it lasts, you know, and that's, I think, the beauty about, and the power of music, and taking the power of it seriously, and being intentional about what we're creating, you know what I mean?
Nice. And then with the songs that you said there are some songs floating around. Were those made? Are those some of those songs that didn't make the album that you guys are putting out there as singles?
No, they were just like initial singles. We knew.
Oh, word. Okay.
There were offshoots. They did not. The intention was like, we're doing this. It's very intentional. Like, we're making this type of song. You know, this is a beat from a hot producer that we normally don't work with, so we're gonna flip it on them like this.
Oh, word.
You know what I mean? So, and there are offshoots, you know, but they're very intentional projects, like trying to build with others that we feel can vibrate and be on the same frequency as us when we make our songs.
Word.
Yeah, none of that stuff that didn't make the album has been released, though.
Yeah, they just in the cut, bro.
Just in the cut.
You guys ever
it's
thinking
some
about
heaters in the cut?
You guys ever thinking about dropping it somewhere?
Yeah, maybe as some singles, maybe exclusive at some of our shows. You might be able to hear some of them joints. But I think really for us, Like, we want to make sure that we push the traction of this project, because a lot of people still need to touch it and be able to sit with this language project so they can get an understanding, because some of the other shit might be different. It's still going to be the same, you know, energy, but it's going to be it's going to transmit a whole nother vibe.
Yeah,
you know, it might catch you in another moment. You know what I mean? And that's the shit. Like, we do this shit for the culture, so we want to build
Nice.
moments and shit, experiences with this shit. Like,
When did the album officially drop?
shit.
October of last year.
Yep.
October of last year. So we're about what, like
I can't even count right now.
7 months in? We're about 7 months in.
Like,
More or less.
7,
About
8.
7
You know what I'm
months
saying?
Yeah.
Like, fourth quarter 22. You know what I'm saying? Fourth quarter of 22. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And then available everywhere, right? Did you?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
You can
Yes,
find
All
it
everywhere.
platforms.
Nice.
We
And
just
then
dropped
there's
a video.
under Block Scholars, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
BLOCK Scholars. You can catch us at Black Scholars Music. You know what I'm saying?
Instagram, YouTube, all of that.
It's on you. We just dropped the
But
video.
I think in Spotify, you know, every DSP. But the point of all of it is like just tap in and hear it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's got some diversity. You know, it's not just one lane. You know, I think between the three of us, we all have some similarities and a lot of similarities in taste in music. But each individual has some unique trait that like provides a different experience to what we're doing. So there's other avenues that he wants to take, you know, the music that maybe we're like, for real? He's like, hell yeah, nigga. So, you know, and we're gonna tap in and support that. We're gonna support every form of creativity because it's not the genre. You know, the artist can be on anything, and I can rap to a salsa beat, and drop a salsa joint next week.
You see the shit Cube been doing lately?
Yeah, with the Banda, bro.
Yeah.
Like, Cuban Banda is like crack cocaine. It's like people
flood
want
the
more,
streets,
bro.
flood the
They
streets
just
with
want
that
more.
shit, bro. Like,
So,
for real.
Yeah, like on a real though, man. Like, it's just exciting. So we got more levels to take this, you know, and I even force my individual creativity things on them. And I know they're probably like, what is this nigga doing, bro? I'm really comfortable like experimenting with
Nice.
music now.
He's got some dope shit too.
I think once as artists reach a place where they truly are just making it for them and they don't give a fuck about how anybody else perceives them or just being yourself 100,000%, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
makes sense.
Tapped in and then just being authentic. That's when you make something that no one else has heard. It's your own. You know, you own it, and the greatest of the greatest. Every time you hear that shit, you gonna know because like they can do that.
Yeah.
Because they tap so far in, like this is me authentically. So when you hear it, you fucking know it's me. That's what I feel artistry needs to reach. The freedom to make it without any kind of like, you know, people examining and fucking talking shit and ridiculing and
everyone's a critic.
Yeah,
everyone's a critic.
You know,
especially with social media now, because somebody could always try to clown you or make your shit seem less than it is in value.
And they
but
never
the
gotta
about
see you
creation,
either.
The thing about creation.
And think about this too. A lot of artists will get into the mode of like comparisons. So like, I don't have 175,000 or 1 million followers on Instagram, so I feel like
I must be less than
a little guy, you know. But in all reality, I've seen people that come into the form of making art, and if they're superior and they put the work in and the time in, with a matter of a year, a couple years, or 10 years, or whatever the fuck shit materializes.
However long it takes
for them to fully tap in and perfect whatever it is they're working on. So I encourage all of us to tap into the higher self, to like reach. First of all, envision what the higher form of yourself is, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. What does that look like? Am I eating better? Am I exercising more? Am I reading more? Am I focused on my particular purpose? Do I even know what my purpose is? Am I edifying and loving all of my loved ones and people that I'm responsible for? And I grew up with my family and my friends. Am I treating them right? Am I building with my community? You know what I'm saying? Am I manifesting things in this reality that are going to help people and help myself and reach towards higher levels of enlightenment about what it means to be one with everyone around us and within ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the purpose of what it is to be an artist. Because if you're just emulating what everybody else is doing, it just gets lost in the sauce. You know, they're trying to figure you out if in the KFC recipe, if you're like paprika or motherfucking garlic powder. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know.
Yeah.
So stand out. Yeah. Be your individual self, you know. So,
and so many people now that want to do this, they fall into that lane.
They fall into the trap
of the carbon copy.
Yeah. They fall into the trap of success.
Monkey see, monkey
Everybody's
do.
very similar with what they do, and it takes a lot of the creativity that comes from, you know, just hip hop in general. Like, and it's more industrial. It's a business, you know. So it's like, if we can reprint some shit, or if we could sell some bullshit to you in a bag, and you consume it, we'll put more of it out, and we'll have different brands and label to push the same narrative. And I think like it loses some of its flavor, bro. Just like anything in food, like, you know, now shit's more expensive for us to go to the grocery store, right?
Yeah.
And the cold part about that shit is they got to figure out a way to keep it cheaper for the consumer, so they gonna get some fucked up ingredients and put it in there, and now they can make more faster. And it's the same shit with hip hop, bro. Like, they'll throw some bullshit in it, and people will digest it, and it fucks up a generation, but we still have to make sure we preserve it with the pure. And that's like, man,
a lot of it too, I feel, is that new artists coming up don't do their history on the culture.
Man,
they only go so far back as far as artist wise, not realizing that there's, you know, more artists that came out before 2001, 2000. You know, look at the way the hip hop culture started, and I think that's where artists are losing themselves, because they're tied up to the image of something of the hip hop that came out just a few years back. You know, a decade back.
Yeah.
They're not tapped into the essence of what the culture, its origins, and like participating in those activities that, so they can acknowledge what it feels like to be involved in the culture and what it actually would mean. So you can't just be like, I love hip hop or I love rap culture because, you know, it's a vibe. You know, it's like you actually practice, like you actually, like, for a true appreciation, I personally feel, with hip hop as a culture and a practicing, like, living, breathing culture, you have to participate in it.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, I like the song.
It's more than a playlist.
Yeah, like, I live it, bro. Like, these songs, I live these songs. You know what I mean?
And it's more than just listening to hip hop.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what a lot of these artists don't understand, that a lot of the samples come from jazz, come from, you know, blues.
Everything.
You know, comes from everything. And I think that's where artists aren't reaching their real selves, like you were saying, because they're not opening themselves to other genres of music, to be exposed to it, listening to singing patterns, rhyme patterns. You know, listening, you know, you can learn a lot about patterns listening to just spoken word.
Yep, that's true.
And listening to cats when they're
notice everything is self-centered right now.
Yeah.
So like artists feel like I'm the only one that's important, and everybody else, I don't fuck with y'all because y'all didn't believe in me. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I get on, don't ask me to eat for shit because this is how it is. I had to build my shit up from the mud. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just me all by myself in the cold, in the rain, and I ain't even have I ain't have no shelter. Nigga got no umbrella. It was cold. You know what I'm saying? Where was y'all? Where was y'all when I was, you know? So that's the kind of energy that our culture is generating with all this fake shit flying around. But nobody knows what it's like to then join in a cypher and just spit a verse and just be kicking it with the homies, posted up, having fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Battling each other. You know what I'm saying? Showing up to another homie's concert, showing them love. You know what I'm saying? Dapping them up, seeing them on their way up. You know what I'm saying? And the culture of building. And everybody's like, nah, man, I don't fuck with so-and-so because they don't fuck with me. That's the kind of shit that we're trying to counter.
Yeah.
Bro.
It's the experience side of hip-hop.
If everybody else was building to the point of, like, without being a shark or without being, trying to...
A culture vulture?
Yeah, culture vulture, monopolize, capitalize on the situations at hand. You know, I think more opportunities would be provided for more people, and it would bring more people into the culture because they feel it's a safe space.
Yeah.
So, hip-hop is not a safe space. I'm sorry to tell you. But in its actual true form of culture, practice, it is. And it's meant to build, and it's not to destroy. But
true shit.
obviously, shit's been perverted, and that's where we see the monster we have now.
Yeah, that's why we appreciate what you doing, man, with Digging Daily, because some people who represent hip hop ain't never dug in the album, ain't never seen the experience of going through crates and going through the part of the culture that is organic, that is a part of the beginning. Like, so it's an experience. You gotta give them a hip hop experience. So like, even with this, like, for us to share this, you know, we want to continue to build, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's really what it's about. I mean, we can't really expect them to understand all of this because they're so far removed from it. Like, Shonuff was speaking earlier about how a lot of these kids don't even know that, like, a lot of these beats contain jazz samples. In all actuality, most of the shit they're listening to, that shit don't got no jazz samples in it.
No.
Shit, they got samples from like '97. They're
We're talking about how they don't know, they don't appreciate real singing. They don't have real singing to listen to, you know, on a large scale anymore. They have a lot of auto-tuned shit to listen to.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's up to people like us, like you, to do what we do in order to impart that knowledge on the next generation, so they do understand those things and know that there's shit that was out before 2010.
And I do want you to be encouraged. There are young kids that come up to me and be like,
absolutely,
I want to make beats like RZA. Like, can we chop it up?
You'd be surprised.
I'm like, yes, you're in the right place.
You'd be surprised.
You're in the right place.
But they probably got parents that are on the wavelength we're on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So they were obviously raised on
some hip hop shit.
Yeah.
When you get into the next track right here, why don't you guys introduce it? Lavish.
Oh, Lavish. Okay, this is another one of those definite bangers. A little different sound on this one, but I think it's one of the hottest beats on the album. We got features on here. Shout out to the homie Casanova Brown, who sets it off on here, and the homegirl Missy Ill, who has a very ill verse on this piece. But yeah, Lavish. Let's get into it.
Look who back, man, he's Cassie. Though this that $900 bottle cologne shit. Dutch colonial home on some foreign area code shit. 1827 Bostonian post shit. Flow colder than that Carney Hawkins finger roll shit. Oh shit, my pimp code global. No zip, the mogul. Sip with a straight pinky, no homo. Belafonte Deo, the backbone of LA. The dopest Latin rapper, they gon' act like they don't know though. Say I ain't the goat hoe, Mexican, y'all fat kodo. Tongue drip, 7 toxins, Apex Komodo, watch. Got bitches out in Soto Deserado. I know habla de no mano because Nova beat the gato. Them copycats can't top me. Cats top if it's class, get top from chicks with a shanty ass. My jeans costly, you and swap me pants. Even ugly fags won't fuck your old body ass. I'm lavish.
Established dudes here, shoes red, prove stairs. Sedated to elevate, celebrate like the new year. Meditate is what some do, others relate to sons who study the art of war. Liquid swords and kung fu, this industry 1-2. I'm becoming numb to the thought of selling my soul for some dollars to thumb through. Something I won't succumb to. Shorty texting me come through, and just a year ago she replied to me like Sean. But now she call me Mr. Tibbs cause she nasty slim. But I can match the stamina of an athlete when me in the track meet. Holy matrimony left from the ruins. Those phonies go try to bash this cause they can never measure up to the status. Pockets like, why they pat us? Y'all just stepped into madness. Who's that checking your baggage? That's them reckless and savage. Young hitters off the liquor, sick obsessed with this cabbage. We lavish.
Highly imperial, name unequivocal. A dame that obtains cause her brain is empirical. That's more than evident. More green mean benevolent. If cream is a crop, blowing steam like it's never spent. I be magnificent, magnify our dissonance. Feelings getting hurt, I ain't even put a diss on it. Came about the dirt, we ain't even get to piss on it. Now I got the ring, call up Jada like we kissing it. I'm fresher than the prince, trusting deeds like a will. Yo, I'm always on the run, but it's never round the mill. Yo, you'll never see me stop till I make a couple mil. I be banking over banquets, heavy feasting on these meals. That's then my fashion wholesale is a manner. My escape, real estate, steal estates with a manner. Can't equate higher stakes, get like me, I'm the banner. Overseas royalties, but not foreign to the grandeur we lavish.
Spit that lavish, elaborate, classic shit. More accurate than assassin hits. Manifest, flip the manuscript. We adamant about having shit, so we handle biz. I was a kid when I learned to flip my first half a zip. No, not your average, I mastered disadvantages. Now it's expansion trips to Ghana, cop and land a split. With the squad, we got shit wrapped like ace bandages. I'm about them extras, extraordinary, extravagant. We hit the fence while you other niggas straddle it. From the land of the scandalous vandalists, the average lit. Young scavengers turning to savages. Lil Brandon ain't brandishing, yo, he blaming shit. Want all the smokes, cannabis to the cancer sticks. Got these platinum rappers panicking when them cannons kick. Don't get me handled and smacked up with your management. Your ghost statuses got an asterisk after it.
You are now tuned into the freshest, the dopest, the one and only www.diggindaily.com. This is the Way Radio broadcasting live from Northeast Los Angeles, LA HOTBOX Studios. We've got the dopest, freshest group there is right now. Block Scholars in the motherfucking building. Dope track. Dope track.
Sir.
Dope track. What sample was that? Or do you not give that out?
Oh,
Definite.
definite. What sample was that?
He acting like he don't hear you right now.
Yeah, it's all right. As you should. As you should.
I'm locked into that bass, bro. Hey, but Jake One, right?
Yeah, piece of Jake
You said that
One,
was Jake One?
Yeah.
On the beat?
Yeah, this is
background
Jake One.
beat.
Yeah, that
Just
shit's fire,
live.
bro. We was freestyling to that earlier, man. It was nasty.
Yeah, that's some extra footage shit right
But
there. We're throwing.
that sample I got from the homie Illegal. He put me on to a community called Vinyl Frontier.
Oh, word.
And Vinyl Frontier, you know, probably most people know about it, but, you know, a record collector. And I just found this jam, bro, like, just digging
Daily.
Hell
daily.
yeah.
Like,
you gotta get those hands dirty, baby.
Man.
bro, like, it's just crazy, man. But I know it was digital. I'm not gonna lie, it's a digital dig. But in the aspect of real records, I got a collection at the crib. You know what I'm saying? I got some records with me on it that make me feel good at the end of the day. I'll be like,
Right.
yeah, I'm on this record, and this record, and this record. Oh man, I got my own shit. Here's a Sade record. Okay, all right, that's what's up. But no, there's a bunch of shit in there, like, but I usually have those vinyls for listening.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I have a whole nother bin where I just go through for digs and I just try to find shit. But honestly, bro, I don't know what the hell that was. I couldn't drop the name on it. But I think I'd be dumb if I actually knew and told y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, now you playing this smooth. You playing this smooth. You know?
Yo, but you know, I think what's most fun about making some of these beats on this project was just accompanying them with my own arrangements on, you know, and with it, and or chopping it in a way where it felt like a natural loop, but it wasn't. You know, it's just different parts, and you're like, that's crazy how this song goes, but
What's dope though? What's dope though is
original.
that we've heard 3 songs, and all 3 songs are different spectrums,
Yeah,
but they're still on that hip hop vibe.
yeah,
If that makes any sense.
it does.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like a pre-programmed kind of sound. It's like you can feel it. You can feel it, but it's not the same style.
That's love, man.
We want to make each joint like an experience, man.
Yeah.
Each joint we want to be an experience.
At the same time, like, it's a cohesive vibe. You know what I mean? At the same time, you know what I mean? It's not gonna feel out of place when you listen to the project. It all comes together properly, you know.
Nice. What other artists were featured on this? I know you said Miss She Ill, but who else?
That was Casanova Brown that set it off on
Yeah,
the
he
first
spit
verse.
first.
Word.
One of
Yes.
the dopest lyricists.
Shout out to the socialites.
Man, for real.
Yeah.
That guy Cass, man, check Cass out. He killed it. He set the tone for that
Yeah.
song.
Yes,
so
he
like,
did.
And proudly reps Latin rapper. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, they're both
Yeah.
Latino, by the
Yeah,
way.
both Latino.
Missy
Yeah.
Ill and
Missy
Casanova
Ill, yeah.
Brown.
Yup.
she's like a queen MC.
Family right there.
You know, all that. What is that? Femshe, like female MC. No, she's a
Femcy.
dope MC. Point
Period.
blank. Period, bro.
Yeah.
She came in, held her own. Her tone, like I've heard her on the socialite shits with Tibbs, but like when she blessed that, you know, and it just for Cass to set it off. Like, he set the bar lyrically where it was like, yo, I remember going back to my joint like, yo,
I was like,
I gotta come
my
with.
man's came fighting words.
What's crazy, we was trying to get Def to write a verse to spit for it, but he set the tone for the vibe with the production that it was like, all right, like, we're gonna let him have his space and not force him to be an MC on this joint because he's also a fan of hip hop.
He's being nice. I was just fucking lazy and didn't get my verse done in time.
And it's never too late though. We can redrop that.
The real story comes out.
With your verse on it. Stop playing, bro.
I would love to, but it's that I was going through some things, and there were some moments during that time making the project that were very difficult for me, and some of the other brothers had some things going on in life, real life happening.
Yeah.
And so there would be times where I couldn't write. You know, I just wasn't in a headspace. But then they'll be on fire. You know what I'm saying? And then there'll be points where like I'm just like shooting them a gang of shit, and they're like, well, goddamn, I ain't even finished.
Yeah.
The two you sent the other day is that they come in.
I didn't finish May 9th.
They come in. They come in way.
Exactly, bro.
Am I lying? Like it'll just be like a wave.
Yeah.
It'll just be like,
yeah.
Like,
and let me tell you, there's some joints in there. There's some joints that's, man, ready. Shout out to my man Illy Smokes. I got some shit with him out of some of those batches. We got some shit. Like, it's some shit in the vault. Don't trip. Like, strictly like real hip hop shit. And for me, I probably can't stress this enough. Like, I don't want anybody to ever sleep on how Definite creates, because he creates from a perspective, production wise, where he will take you into different genres and blending them, and you can get something soulful, you can get some super loop, you can get some like boom bap, like, and then it'd be like, yo, where was this dude today? Like, how do I write to this when he sent me some a few days ago and it was another vibe? And then it's like RL vocal shit on there, and it's sounding right, like, you know what I'm saying, some placement shit, you know what I'm saying, because he has capability to do that. Like, Issa Rae, holler at us, we got some shit for you. Like, you know, we got some shit like that can play in the hip-hop coffee shop scene. Nice. And we can be in some shit where we in different environments, and then we got some shit where we could come kick your speakers over on stage. Right, you know what I'm saying?
Right. But isn't that like how you have to be in hip-hop? You're supposed to be universal.
How you should be, yeah. Well-rounded, you know what I mean?
I think a lot of people like to focus on just like a few emotions of what life is to them, and then they're just locked into these concepts like whatever.
But that's what's promoted really now, so most people just follow what's promoted.
Yeah,
you know?
For real, that's real spit.
We're to the point where we make music and we're just like, this is just an organic experience, and this is the result, and it just create free. Yeah. So it comes out a certain way, and then and people are gonna just go, oh, damn, that shit felt nostalgic, or felt like that was a powerful song.
Yeah.
And but it's just no force, bro. Like, just
word up.
Yeah.
You guys did touch base, did speak about it earlier in the interview, but let's talk about the Manifest Academy. Talk about that.
Manifest Academy.
Yeah,
all right, so the origins of Manifest Academy start back to as early as 2002. 2003, the culture birthed a conceptual idea of it, then practiced throughout the years through the development of One Shine Youth with TBs, and me being one of the educators in the studio, you know, to facilitate and put on these different types of experiences, learning experiences inside the studio, you know, recording techniques and ways to do it. And now it's developed for curriculums from ages 6 to 18. Nice. You know what I'm saying? So different levels of how to engage, how to help them become familiar with certain musical concepts, how to freely express themselves, creating a safe space for them to express themselves without feeling like, you know, everybody starts something, you're not going to be great at it at first. So imagine being like laughed at because you got up on stage and tried to sing.
Yeah.
Not knowing if you had the proper environment to thrive in and be gifts to be nurtured, then you could have messed up, got correction, learned new technique, developed it, and now this person that once loved music, I've had a grown adult tell me a story that she got ridiculed for her art at a young phase of it.
Damn.
Which shut her down for years. You know what I mean? From wanting to create it because of that experience. How every time she tried to practice her art, what she loved, people didn't accept it as well. Shut her down for years. She bounced back stronger than ever, but it took a long time. You know, so creating these spaces is very detrimental to cultivating the music culture, not just even hip hop, music culture, period. You know, imagine it's like Michael Jordan or something came to the motherfucking Boys and Girls Club, and he's like trying to learn how to play ball, and they're just like, "You're trash, bro. Go have a seat, bro. Like, you don't even deserve to be on it. Like, don't ever come around here." Like, I'm sure somebody had to allow Mike to play on some court. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then develop ways to have to prove himself on certain courts. You know what I'm saying? He worked for. But without the proper culture of it, having the access to how to grow with it, you know what I mean? Somebody is there nurturing these young athletes. Somebody's out here nurturing their talents. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And developing them. What about the musicians? Right. What about the young musicians? Where are they going to perform where it doesn't feel like a school recital? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I did my talent show. Yeah, cool. Like, that's great. And I don't, I don't like talk mess about that. But I think it's more important for them to feel like they're doing something on a professional level, even if they're at a young age. Because that changes their perceptions about themselves and the altitudes that they can reach. Yeah. If I step on stage and I'm 8 years old or 9 years old and I do a dance routine in front of 300 people and the crowd goes dumb, how does that boost the ego, the relevant side of ego of higher development and higher success? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Endorphins. Man, I could be great at this. I can actually do this and make this something that I can be and have purpose in. Society shuts these things down, with trolling and gaslighting and all these other words they like to use for forms of disrespect and tearing down character. So Manifest Academy is the program implementation of these learning techniques and then the experience of them practicing them in the highest levels that they can actually reach, taking them into, record plant studios, Hollywood.
And it's really about
where the legends have made songs so they can see the environments in which they will be at some future point in time.
That's dope. Yeah.
And you really want to be able to give them, the experience, like we've been mentioning all night about the music, but also just the opportunities, and you want to be able to give them the resources to help them see themselves in that environment. And as you challenge them to develop, we want to build leaders in this. We want to make sure that they're able to go out and be ambassadors of the culture and represent themselves well, become entrepreneurs. Nice. So it's the music side of it, but it's also the infrastructure of it being our culture, like our town, the relevance of what we have established as
your community,
hip hop, your community. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody learns a part. So with us, with our youth, we have songwriting classes, we have DJ classes, we have our production classes. They're able to learn. If they want to try all of them, they can. And it's just really about that hands-on mentorship and development so that they're able to build their brands. They're able to build who they are. So you want to be a DJ and you work and come to the center, you work on your tables, you learn how to spin, you create your playlist, and we let you use the equipment to go do your middle school dance. Now everybody this summer wants you to go do your middle school dance. Now you got a couple spots where you're able to go take your form of an experience in hip hop culture and vice versa. MCs, we have young performers, definite through a dope youth it was the Uprising Youth Festival. It was dope. It was a bunch of youth artists performing downtown Vegas at the Container Park. Nice. It was fire. He got another one coming up on the 4th. I know you're going to plug it later. But imagine you give these young people these experiences in the lab, outside of the lab, and even in this type of environment, bro. We got to cultivate the culture. So, my wife and I have a nonprofit organization. We work with One Shine Youth Services. Yep. Shout out to the Divas of Compton. Shout out to the Drummers of Compton. Shout out to that movement. It's a tribe and village. But this is a component under the umbrella. And I don't like deaf. and I were a part of establishing this years ago with a lot of artists that were involved. So us being an originator, we keeping it live, keeping it moving. Shout out to Bridgetown, shout out to Pedro, the Boys and Girls Club.
Nice.
It's so many people we could name. Liz Kaz was in that. You know, Blue was in that. Miguel was in that. It was so many people. So this is still living that not that dream, but that reality of hip hop culture
being birthed there,
being birthed in the fabrication of something that created a major part of a subculture within the culture. So we create a counterculture to still establish pure hip hop for the youth. And expression, creative expression, you know, just the way we did it. Whether you were a graffiti artist and you bombed, whether you wore your clothes a certain type of way, they need to know it's relevant to be themselves so they can build themselves. And if they're able to express this through their gifts and they have resources and tools, who knows what'll come next, you know? And they're on the cusp of changing shit already. So with technology involved.
And kids are way more creative than adults. I'm sorry. But like,
I agree.
they have no filter, bro. So like, there's no, if they, like most adults, they'll get writer's block because they'll say, you know, I don't want to write right now. Okay, I'm not feeling it. But the truth is they're not feeling the emotion they're trying to evoke at the moment. They have other feelings, but they choose not to write about. Kids is complete opposite, bro. They'll talk about whatever the hell, and it's just hilarious. Like, I think honestly, some of these songs are so hilarious. We're gonna do like a compilation and just drop it for people to just laugh and have a good time. But I think the cool thing about making music with the kids is there's no boundaries.
And it's fun.
There's no boundaries. Like conceptually, there's no boundaries. And like it opens you back up to like, oh man, as you get older and like time goes on, you have these walls. Like it's just crazy. Just getting older and shit. Like kids teach you how to have fun again. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's many parents out there probably watching this, but you know, kids make whether they get on your nerves or not, they make you feel young. You know, because they bring joy in a lot of things that adults forgot how to do, like genuinely. You know,
live. A
right?
lot of adults just exist because they got a mundane routine, you know, and it's different things. So we help our youth realize that you could live this dream. Like you can be in it and you can create it. You could do anything else that you want to, but if you tap into your level of creativity and imagination and you're able to learn to express it and find your gift and push your gift and find purpose and passion in your gift, then you are contributing to what we're supposed to do here as a people, especially when it deals with music and culture and expression and just light. You know what I'm saying? For us, like, that's that block scholar shit. Like, we just live this shit. Like,
I think the most beautiful thing you guys are doing is you're giving our youth confidence. And that's something a lot of these kids are lacking, because you can't get confidence of self through an app.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you guys are giving them an outlet to be confident in themselves as far as what they want to put out there, whether it's through art, music, dance, you know, instrumentation. You guys are giving them that confidence, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful in itself, because I think a lot of the youth don't get that. You know, they don't get a chance to develop that. You know,
I trip out sometimes. I just, you know, some of the kids, you know, like you'll see them grow within a year or so, and you're just like, and even they're surprised. They're like, I didn't think I would be this good by now. And I was like, yeah, it's just a matter of you believing in yourself and then seeing it come to fruition, and then it just gets better and better as time goes. You're like, well, I serve my purpose, and that's what I feel is like doing these types of things for the community and for the kids. I've served my purpose.
Yeah.
Every day I wake up, I get to serve my purpose, and you know, it makes me feel better about being alive every day. I used to hate going to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying my job isn't taxing, but sometimes it's so in my purpose that I don't even know that I'm working, and I overwork and I don't even know it, because I'm actually just enjoying
it.
And you know, my son is like,
that's such a foreign concept.
You need to get rest, Dad. And I'm like, but if I make this beat right now, I'll feel really good. like so I'll stay up and I'll deal with it like when I deal with it, you know?
Yeah.
But he's right. My son's a lot of ways he teaches me about shit. He's like, you know, Dad, you write like 100 beats. sitting untouched. You should do instrumental albums and just sell them. I was like, you're right. Instead of waiting for niggas to come rhyme or sing on my shit, like, just put some shit out. I was like, you're right, bro. You're right.
How could if parents are listening right now and they want to get their kids involved, what's the easiest way for them to
One Shine Youth.
Yeah, so they could check us out at www.oneshineyouth.com and just ask about any inquiries. You could also catch us at One Shine Youth on Instagram. Like I said, home of the Divas of Compton, Drummers of Compton. But more so, if you go to our website, there's a way that you can reach out and just inquire about the Manifest program. There's a lot of things in the work with that because we are expanding our location here in the Cali area. We've been holding like intimate classes and building, but we're recruiting. We got a summer program coming up, our summer camp. It's an intensive. You can get more information about that. So if your kids want to come and just get some beats in, we're gonna put some projects together. It'll be a showcase at the end of it.
Nice.
In July, we want to invite you guys out.
Yes,
you know, and just show what we building. It's a lot of young dope talent out there, and we got to teach them how to really represent this thing in its purest form, bro. Nevertheless, allow them to do it. And just be mentors on the aspect of where. Shit, we provide leadership and character development and the guiding tools to help them do that the right way, so they don't get successful and blow their bag on some bullshit, trying to do everything that everybody else is emulating. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I have crazy stories, bro. I know we're trying to wrap up and go through the outro, but this one story, I've literally had two things happen to me that really stick with me. So one time, a student was in the studio. He wasn't supposed to come to the studio that day, but he would have, if not been in the studio, been in a location where gunfire happened and a peer of his died. Damn. Like, so these are the stress. The importance of this is in sometimes we're in an opportunity to provide a safe space for them, not only to just create, but to not be involved into the bullshit that's going on right outside those doors.
And that in itself is dope.
Yeah, and then also, I had a young student that had a hearing impediment, loss.
Impairment.
Yeah, and impairment. Thank you. And so when he spoke, he had a little bit of a draw where it's kind of like hard to make out everything. It's hard to articulate, right? So he came in and started, I want to rap, Mr. Rob, and da-da-da-da. I'm like, all right, you can rap, but just know, if you come out with records, you don't want people to make fun of you. So you're going to have to really practice this and really work hard at this. And probably harder than these other kids that don't have this obstacle in front of them. So, like, I swear to you, within like 4 or 5 months of him practicing writing and reciting, his speech improved.
Nice.
Because of going over words and phrases and you got to rap the song back.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to spit it back on time, say all the words right, make it so everybody can hear what you're saying. He's working harder and harder. So this music changed this kid's life. Right. And those are two instances that I find like superior purpose in it. And it probably serves in the same capacity about a bunch of other kids that I service. I just don't know the inner stories.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's things that
There's so many stories too, and that's not even including some of the things we do when we go into the schools, and so much stuff is on these campuses. If these kids don't have this outlet to express themselves, then they can go into self-hurt, or they can go into, like Rob said, environments where the gang violence is still active. We still in a spot where we hear the ghetto bird, and we have young dudes that are in middle school that's extra'd out, carrying burners, smoking big weed, still doing the same thing that's not pure. So we got to catch these young people and help them find their purpose, so they can represent for themselves, for their family, and just really just like help the culture and the community. Like, it's building, and like, real spit, we're a 501c3, we legit, we're a nonprofit organization. If you want to donate to help us, you're more than welcome. You could do that too. Like, real talk. Like, we're trying to build the funding so we can go into these places and help make this program larger. We're right now operating in Las Vegas. We're operating here locally in LA, in this area. But we're trying to expand. We're trying to go to schools. We're trying to really take this message and this movement into places to help build our youth up and still represent, the culture. Cultivate the culture, bruh.
Drop your IG on them.
Yeah.
Hey, check me out. I'm TBZ_on1. That's TBZ_ONWUN. You can find me at oneshineyouth.com on Instagram. We're gonna be putting a manifest page and different things out, but we want to make sure we present this the way it needs to, because we have a lot of things in store with this whole with this movement. And shout out to Def, because Def is, once again, like I said, he's really a heartbeat in a lot of this. We all are in certain aspects, and when we connect and things start aligning, it's huge for the culture. It's huge for the culture. So
yes,
tap in now.
You can find me at DEFMASS Def Mass, and usually I just post everything to my page. It doesn't matter what I do, honestly. I feel like I'm too occupied to separate the pages. I gotta do.
I got too much
for my
on.
beats. This is for my raps. This is for bro. It's all me. So just absorb all of it. It doesn't matter. Just get at me however you can. And
once again, I'm Mr. Tibbs. Y'all can reach me at A Square Scholar. That's ASQUARESCHOLAR. A Square Scholar, just like it's spelled. On IG, and tap in with the squad. We're at Block Scholars Music, just like it's spelled. Block Scholars Music on IG.
Tap in IG. We do a lot of posting there and content there. It's a lot. It's an easy platform for us to share. And we do a lot of other forms of marketing, but IG is where we do a lot of our posting. So check us out.
And check out our videos. We got some videos out too on YouTube. We got
4 joints?
4 joints. We just dropped a good vibe. Just dropped a good vibe video. Peep that. Run it up. Run those numbers up. Share it.
We got the Slangwich video, what you guys heard earlier.
Yep.
Hope for sale.
Hope for sale. And we got one for the whole bag as well.
Ooh, that's gonna be our last track. But before we close out with that track, let me ask you guys this: one word to define the album individually. Give me that one word that defines the album.
God damn.
Great question.
That's 2 words. Goddamn, it's 2 words.
All right. Wait, but what if I don't put a space? GODDAMN. I don't know.
I would have to say, for me, I think this album means something personal to all of us, so because during us creating it, there were times where we were experiencing real life, like we were taking losses, we were going through.
Wait, so what is the word you're using?
I don't know. For me, I think it would say refined, bro.
Nice.
It's refined. It's refined hip hop.
Jeez. Damn, that's hard, bro. I'm so sorry.
No doubt. It's all right. Mr. Tibbs, what you think?
Man, that's tough, bro.
Hey, Slangwich. One word, Slangwich.
Yeah.
There it is.
Check out the project.
I feel like that's a cop out though. So I'm gonna go with just solid. I think it's a solid all around effort. Long time coming, but I think it's just solid, man. I think you'll be hard pressed to skip through anything that you hear on it when you sit down and listen to it. That's just my humble opinion, but I'm really proud of what we were able to put together with this.
I'm just gonna go roll with authentic. You know what I'm saying? Just it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it was what it was.
I think it's just that's more than one word, but just to reiterate, all of our inspirations, make the fusion of this, what it is that we're listening to on the Block Scholars Project. So I'd say authentic, because you're not going to be able to replicate what this is,
Word up. And then one more time, let them know, where can they get the album?
All DSPs. So, Apple Music,
Spotify, Apple Music.
You're going to run with all the different
YouTube
DSPs.
music.
Check out our Instagram. You can find the links that'll get you wherever you need to.
And we're also got Block Scholar gear. You know what I'm saying? And
got the merch.
Yeah,
Nice.
You can inquire on IG if y'all want to mess with some of the merch.
Yeah.
Word up.
On deck.
Last track we're going to get into right here. Hold back. Talk about it real quick.
Woo. Hey, just bars, real life experience, some good old school story shit, some truth. Definite on the track. It's just
hard ass nostalgic.
Man, it's just the
storytelling. That's what I
Man.
mean. Some of the stories, painting the picture of different scenarios and stuff, brings us back to the art of storytelling too. So that's brilliant.
Lyricism.
Yeah.
Dope beats, lyricism at its finest, man.
Dope. It's Language. It's the name of the album. Make sure you guys check it out. Available everywhere digitally. Make sure you guys check them out on Instagram at Block Scholars. Support dope artists. Support dope music. Support Block Scholars. I want to wish you guys nothing but success in everything that you guys do. Thank you for involving the community in what you guys do. Thank you for bringing culture back to our community. We really do appreciate that right here. And before we close out, this has been the freshest, the dopest, the one and only www.digginday.com. This is The Wave Radio, broadcasting live from Northeast Los Angeles. And as always, we got special guests in studio. Block Scholars held it down, play some dope tracks for us. Make sure you guys support. And with that being said, stay fresh, be fresh. You're always going to be fresh. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
Shout out to Show Enough. Peace.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
DiggingDaily.com. Check them out.
Block scholarship. We came to bring the pain, once again maintain. Never strain, lyrical lead embedded in your brain, fled the same. Got off scot-free and feeling cocky. Police be clocking me, so I'm forced to make them a mockery. Archery, shooting arrows at those I'm after. I was born a bastard, determined to die a master of the mind. Humankind getting stuck better shine. Fuck from behind, by the government, steady loving it, thugging it. But we can't be G's forever. These thieves is clever, seasoned veterans. Check the lettering and the numbering. 1121 to Somerset. Mr. Tibbs slid in your crib, and now we rummaging. When I kick in the dope, all of my niggas coming in. Have you puzzled and wondering, now who the fuck is them? If you don't know by now, I doubt you'll ever know. Where's the dope? Give up the goods or be prepared to go. And you know we got the whole bag. Best believe we got the whole bag. Yes, indeed, we got the whole bag. And we ain't price check, you might check and get your toe tagged. Best believe we got the whole bag. Yes, indeed, we got the whole bag. Ain't spend a fee and got the whole bag. And we ain't price check, you might check and get your toe tagged.
My man, Salvador from the border. He walked with a limp like his left leg was shorter. Specialty in life was taking care of big orders. For every pound we buy, he doing the extra quarter. The homie Gordo from Little League and Pop Warner pushed them pillows up a Tyndall through Long Beach, California was our inside plug. The whole block, Seth Joyner, La Raza, they still mourn him. They still mourn him. Damn shame how death just snuck up on him. And tragedy stuck one early morning. His truck was warming, going on a family trip to Tijuana. Sus amigos lo matarones, casa. They left him slaughtered with his son, wife, and daughter. All the kids look up to the cartel mortars, bumping corridos and them Regals and Impalas. It's muy frio, but the game we a part of. And you know we got the whole bag. Best believe we got the whole bag. Yes, indeed, we got the whole bag. And we ain't price checking, mic checking, get your toe tag. Best believe we got the whole bag. Yes, indeed, we got the whole bag. Play for keep in these streets and got the whole bag. And we ain't price checking, mic checking, get your toe tag.
I gotta get it, pockets need dollars in them. Can't be pulling up in a rental. This drive ain't coincidental. It's daily regimen, brethren getting bread to win. Now we on the rise and I'm high, twisting up elements. Lost papers, carrying far as the law takes us. When we rock it's applause in all statements. Don't be caught up in the wrong state of mind. It's to the turn, cause ain't shit for free. No handouts, you better earn it. You act like you deserve it, but you ain't putting the work in. Put that mic down if you ain't driven with purpose. The wordsmith, I am on a masterful weapon. Just observe or break down the science after the lesson. But since y'all was half-step and learned half of the methods, how you gonna put in work and don't ask for the check is? Want the whole bag, y'all fucking up the format. This is raw rap knowledge with beats, it's all that. And you know we got the whole bag. Best believe we got the whole bag. Yes indeed, we got the whole bag. We ain't price checking, mic checking, get your toe tag. Best believe we got the whole bag. Yes indeed, we got the whole bag. Play for keeps in these streets to get the whole bag. And we ain't price checking, mic checking, get your toe tag.